In the city, Peter follows his daily routine with his wife Alice and their 2 daughters. One night, he sees a bright light in the sky and burning objects falling, killing people on the streets. The building gets hit, and Peter wakes up, realizing it was a nightmare. This has been happening for weeks, and Alice urges him to see a doctor. She is frustrated because his nightmares are affecting them all. Peter insists he can handle it. The next morning, Peter promises his daughter Lucy he'll get off work early to visit the pier. He also agrees to throw a party for Alice's promotion, which surprises her. At work, Peter encounters his daughter Hannah, who is pretending to be the elevator operator. Their neighbor Ray joins them, and Peter waits for him to leave before apologizing to Hannah for being absent. On his way to work, Peter notices a strange building and questions its reality. At the factory, his hand shakes uncontrollably, and he sees blood on it. He has a vision of beating someone, which distracts him and causes equipment failure. His boss, David, recommends a clinic, but Peter insists he's fine. David agrees to let him leave early if he promises to visit the clinic. Alice is excelling at work and turns down a new project to spend time with her family. Peter gets the clinic's phone number and starts preparing to leave. He notices a flickering light on his desk and experiences more visions. He sees himself fixing a light and hears a TV discussion about a group's rights. The vision shows protests and falling objects killing people. Peter wakes up on the factory floor, realizing he's late for his family meeting. He notices a light in the sky but others can't see it. He buys a telescope and returns home, where Alice tries to make excuses for him, but the girls are still disappointed. Peter arrives and apologizes, but Alice is furious. During their argument, Lucy wakes up, and Alice leaves to care for her. That night, Peter dreams of an invasion again, seeing Lucy crying by her dead parents. Hannah appears with a gun, and Peter wakes up to find the clinic's number. The next day, he tries to talk to his daughters, but Hannah leaves the room. Lucy is angry, but Peter apologizes and fixes her broken toy. He tells Alice he has scheduled a doctor's appointment, which gives her hope. At the clinic, Peter meets a patient who shares similar visions and believes something big is coming. The patient suspects the clinic erases thoughts to prevent chaos. Peter starts having more visions of a destroyed city and armed survivors led by David. He decides to leave the clinic without seeing the doctor and tells Alice he thinks his visions warn of a disaster. Alice is disappointed. At Alice's party, Peter uses the telescope on the balcony, expecting the worst. Ray joins him, and they hear thundering noises. The sky lights up with falling glowing objects, and Ray can see it too. A drone crashes into a building, causing an explosion that tears the city apart. They are thrown against the window but recover and look outside, realizing they're under attack. They rush inside to find their children. Lucy is hiding under a table, but Hannah left with Ray's daughter. Peter searches for Hannah and is surrounded by panicked people. He enters Ray's apartment and sees a strange aircraft, triggering his memories. The aircraft opens fire, but Ray saves Peter. They hide in another room, but Ray doesn't find the girls. They hurry to the elevator, find a body inside, and carefully descend to find their daughters. The power goes out in the building. Alice and Lucy hide under a table while the aircraft flies by. Peter discovers a soldier in the hallway and they hide in their apartment. Peter barricades the door, and Lucy realizes her toy is missing. As the soldier fires at the door, Peter and Alice struggle to keep it closed. The soldier makes holes in the wall, and Peter and Alice hide in the bedroom, discovering Lucy is missing. The soldier finds Lucy and is shocked to see her. He tries to touch her, but Peter arrives and kicks him off. They fight, and Peter steals the soldier's weapon but can't use it. Alice arrives, calls for Lucy, and beats the soldier until he is knocked out. The family takes the soldier's weapons and sneaks through the corridors, dodging bodies. They take the stairs, hearing screams and explosions. Peter decides to go to the roof for safety. He is attacked by Ray, and both families reunite, watching the city burn as aircraft search for them. An aircraft destroys a neighboring building, and the group hides to avoid detection. They climb into a glass cleaner's lift, which breaks, forcing them to enter an apartment through a window. The lift falls after the last person climbs out. The soldier wakes up and activates a tracker to find the survivors. In the new apartment, Peter examines the soldier's gun and discovers it has a biometric trigger. Peter suggests going to the factory, which was built as a fortress. Alice mentions a tunnel nearby that leads directly to the factory. Invaders shoot at the apartment, causing an explosion. Alice protects her girls while Ray's daughter runs to find her dead father. The aircraft appears again, and Peter drags his family out while Ray's wife and daughter are killed. They hide from two soldiers, and Peter uses wires to bypass the gun's biometric authentication, shooting the soldiers. They leave the building and find the streets full of debris and flames. Armed locals open fire on soldiers, but an aircraft kills them all. The soldier finds his dead teammates and follows the tracker. The family runs through dark areas to the tunnel. Peter opens it, and Alice sends Hannah down first, then Lucy. An aircraft approaches, and Alice grabs Lucy, running to the tunnel as the aircraft opens fire. They enter the tunnel just before an explosion hits the entrance. Emergency lights are on, and Alice has a severe abdominal wound. Peter helps her walk, but she is too weak. Peter puts her down to rest, and the soldier appears. Lucy warns Peter, who defends himself. They fight, and Peter breaks a pipe, filling the tunnel with smoke. Peter fires into the smoke and fights the soldier until he breaks his helmet. The soldier is revealed to be a young man named Miles. He refuses to answer questions, but Peter forces him to help carry Alice. They reach the factory, and Peter uses a password to open the door. David and guards help Alice, and the soldier is arrested. Alice undergoes a shocking diagnosis with electric shocks. David explains that the invasion was expected. As the roof shakes, David orders the killing of Miles. The doctor says there's nothing more he can do for Alice. Miles offers to help, and Peter reluctantly agrees. David announces an evacuation and tells the family to leave with him. Peter and Miles work on Alice, revealing she needs an alternate power source. Peter discovers he also has mechanical parts and artificial organs. Miles warns that if the procedure fails, they will all die. Peter agrees, and Miles connects him to Alice. Peter passes out and sees visions that are actually memories from the past. Peter and Alice are AI robots, or synthetics, who worked as janitors and were mistreated. Humans started a war against synthetics, leading to a massacre. Peter and Alice fought back, eventually leading to humanity's departure to Mars. Synthetics, including Peter's co-workers and neighbors, were left behind to rebuild. David prepared the factory as a future base. Peter and Alice adopted Lucy and Hannah, and the synthetics began rebuilding the city. Some synthetics erased their memories to forget the war. David's team kept their memories to protect everyone. In the present, Peter wakes up, noticing the connection in Alice's survival. Miles explains the war happened long ago, and he was shocked to see normal families on Earth. Alice wakes up with her memories restored. The survivors find a train waiting, but Lucy refuses to leave without her parents. At the main entrance, the roof collapses, and humans open fire. David's team defends the factory, and Peter and Alice make it to the train. Soldiers blow up the door, but David buys time for the family to board. The train departs, and a weapon on the train stops the soldiers from following. The bridge behind them is destroyed to hide their new location.